Hello everyone, I'm Sofi. Today we're going to draft another sleeve. For other sleeves, you can also look in my page on YouTube. You can find them. I am drafting the Leg-of-Mutton Sleeve today for you. The leg of sleeve looks like this. It's kind of like a pear shape, or like the lamb's leg of mutton, which was very fashionable during the end of the 19th century and at the very beginning of the 20th century, Edwardian era. So this is a puff sleeve again, but the cut is completely different from other puff sleeves. And obviously we can create different variations when we have bigger puff or smaller puff. And we're going to draft it from there, and then we're going to cut and slash and spread again. Well, that said, let's draft the sleeve. Okay, in order to start, we have to draft a vertical line on the paper and a horizontal line, and then you place the foundation on the paper, grain line matching the grain line and bicep line matching the horizontal line. Then you copy the foundation. So I did it. Now I'm going to start drafting my guideline slash lines on them. Now we're going to draft the slash lines on the sleeve. Measure 4 inches down from the cap and place a dot. And then on the underseam of the sleeve, you are going to measure 3 inches down from the bicep line and 3 more inches down from that marked point. So 3 inches and 3 inches. Let's measure the same on the opposite side. Again, 3 and 3. Then we're going to connect those 3-inch points to the 4-inch point, which represent your slash lines. I'm drafting with red so you can see clearly, and also later on I'm going to slash this line that is coming from the cap. So let's cut the sleeve and take it off of the paper. Now I'm going to cut from the cap down to the underseam slash lines. Try not to cut through. So then we are drafting again a grain line on another piece of paper. Place the trunk of the sleeve on the grain line and secure it in the place. Now on that book, you if you have the Armstrong's book and you look at the draft, you can see that the Leg-of-Mutton Sleeve is developed from the darted foundation. You can develop it from any foundation you want to. So my foundation is tapered foundation, and it is going to be fitted at the bottom and puffed at the top. So after I secure the bottom side of the sleeve, I need to stretch this line up a little bit so I can see my structure better. And then I bring my slashed pieces. The top piece comes closer to the grain line and stays about 2 inches away from it. Let's say That's the size of the puff I want. If I was going to push this away, the puff of the sleeve will become even bigger. Okay, so let's say I don't want very, very big puff. So the size is moderate, and I am going to push the cap point 2 inches away from the grain line and make sure that all the underseam part is kind of easy, and you don't pull or create any gaps at the bottom, and secure it in place. The middle piece goes nicely, should be agreeable like this, and you secure that into place as well. As you can see, once it gets kind of broken here, when I slash, it breaks. Later on I'm gonna fix it. But first of all, let's take care of the other side. Again, I'm going to bring the cap 2 inches away from the grain line like this, where I have the same setup. Well, as you can see, that I already finished taping my opposite side, and now I'm ready to bring my cap up a little bit, because if I would leave it just like that, my sleeve is going to be wide but not long enough to push it away from the arm and create the puff. So let's assume from this straight line at the cap, I am going to go 2 inches up. Again, it's up to you, you can go even higher, then you will create a huge sleeve. Now, so what I need to do here is I am going to freehand draft my cap curve like this, so it doesn't look like a pumpkin shape or pointy shape like that. So it will be nice oval shape that comes and connects with the notch area. The same thing should be happening on the opposite side, where you come and connect to the notch area. Again, you don't go below this point, because if you go, then you are going to be disrupting the underarm area. Once you make the marks like that and you like it, obviously if this was like that and I didn't like it, I will be erasing this and drafting another curve that it's more pleasing and correct constructionally. And then from here, by holding 90 degrees at the top, I am going to bring the curve down just any way the French curve will catch that curve or the points that you marked on the paper, and this will come down. And let's go to the opposite side of the curve and bring and nicely blend it to the notch area. And then you can do the opposite side just the same way. You are going to draft the curve at the cap and flip the ruler and flip it opposite side and bring and blend it to the notch area like this. Okay, so now I am done with the cap drafting, but before I say I'm done with the sleeve, I need to also fix this broken underseam, and of course the other side as well. Here, we always say when we pivot or slash and spread, any side that gets worked on gets affected, broken. So we are going to blend so it will not create puckers at the underseam of the sleeve. And let's go to the other side. Make sure that your pieces are nicely taped to the background. And again, I'm going to hold my ruler along that curve and make it curvy and blend it. Now the sleeve is done. I need to add my seam allowances. So 1/2 inch seam allowance at the underseam. 1/2 inch seam allowance at the cap, but you see you have to hold the ruler like this to add 1/2 inch seam allowance, not like this. Okay, so this is wrong. It should be 90 degree right there when you are doing 1/2 inch, and by following the curve, you're going to add your 1/2 inch seam allowance all around. Here I am at the bicep again, going 90 degree. And at the hemline, I can add, let's say, 3/4 inch fold for my hem or sleeve opening. And depending how I want to finish, maybe I can go 1/4 inch more in here. So altogether you can add 1 inch, and then I will show you what you do with this later. Now, the broken lines should be fixed and blended with your ruler. The French curve is very appropriate for this curve. Let's cut the head first. Now, we're going to fold 1/4 inch like this, as if we're stitching the hemline, okay? And then we're going to fold one more time for the hem. Usually when you have tapered shape like this is how you do it. So when you cut the fabric and you're ready to fold and stitch in the place, you have enough fabric at the corners. So you see, if I would continue my line on the fold like this, then cut the seam allowance from this part. And when you're cutting, again, pretend you're drafting again with your scissors, so you don't compromise the quality of your pattern. Now, if I would open up the hemline, you can see that I came up with this kind of broken shape, but I need that fabric that way, so when I fold and stitch, I don't have a sufficient amount of fabric to be folded and stitched, so it can be caught in the seam. And then I will simply go ahead and cut the cap. Now all we need to do is just add the different features of the pattern to say that we're done with this project. First of all, my grain line is right at the center. Now, if you see you have a notch here, the double notch is for the back right there. You should be notching that. One notch goes down like this. So notch, notch. Then the cap notch that was 1/4 inch away from the once upon a time, my grain line, it is going to stay in the same place, 1/4 inch away from the grain line. And then my front single notch should be marked. And I am marking, you use your notcher to notch, okay? And then when it comes down here, to notch the hemline, actually, like if there's a broken line like this, you might not notch, but if you wanted to notch, you will be notching, let's say 2 folds like that, and your pattern will be finished right after you say what this is. So this is leg of mutton sleeve, size 8 and cut 2. So this will conclude my demonstration of the Leg-of-Mutton Sleeve for you. Visit me next time for another project. Have a great day. Bye.